Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all the many things that you do to support me, my videos, the channel, choosing me for your private, personal readings, your energy healing, all that stuff. I do appreciate it. This may be, however, the last love reading that I do. I don't know. We'll see. Not that I do in general, that I do on this channel. And that's not because of me or by choice. That's because YouTube has changed its policies and it's implementing new ones beginning December 10th, which is just around the corner, like, for next week's reading. Because this reading goes through Sunday, December 1st, through Saturday to come, December 7th. So for next week, I would need to be deciding what I'm going to do. In the middle of that week, they're going to change their policies. What does that mean? Well, in part, at least from what they state, they're like reserving the right, at least. They might not necessarily do it effective immediately on December 10th, but they're reserving the right to cancel, take back, take away, shut down any and every channel that they said does not make them money. So that doesn't only mean, channels like mine or, people, others like me, who don't necessarily have millions of views. It could mean those of you who are watching, you could lose your channel. And then it goes on to further state that if they want, they may cancel one's Google account, period. That means your Gmail also, I don't know, your Google Voice, Hangouts, maybe, whatever you may use that is owned by Google, Google Docs. I don't know. They're tired of paying for people's storage is the problem. So they only want to pay for the storage of those people who make them money, whatever that means. I don't know what amount of money they're looking for, but I know that I have videos that also, because of YouTube and Google, ever since they came on board, my videos, the viewing, steadily like on a decline. Why? Because they fail consistently to notify my subscribers when I post something new, publish a new video. They don't tell anybody. I got to try to reach everyone myself manually and let people know I've posted. Sometimes they see my stuff on social media and they know. Sometimes they don't, so I lose a lot of views. Although you guys can come on your own, and check every week too, because I post a video every week, but whatever. That could be too much to be putting on people too, that they got to remember to log in. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I know that the YouTube part I can pinpoint because there's analytics to this. And so on times where I have, for example, just even as a test, like, let me advertise this video on Facebook and let me continue to not advertise these at all and see what the difference is. There's an analytic for that. For people who were notified of the video internally from YouTube and people who were notified externally from other sources. And then I'll see like the numbers go up and that's attributed to Facebook, for example, or to Twitter or whatever, IG. So it is definitely YouTube that's causing me to have problems with some views. But then at the same time, when my videos do get out to the public and people do know that I've published something and it is making its way around or going, viral, as they say, then I do really well. The response to those videos is not like, oh, okay, this sucks, I'm sorry I clicked on it. People, once they find me, people tend to like the video and then actually like the video, which helps me, which supports me. So, like, it's not my problem. It's not my content. It is Google. It is YouTube. So it's like a catch-22. Because you're not recommending me, putting me in the feed, notifying my subs that I've posted something, my views go down. And then because my views are down, maybe you'll decide to choose me, to cancel my channel, or even worse, to cancel my Google account at large. That I can't necessarily risk. So I may, stop doing the videos that get the least notification and shares, which would be the general and the love reading for the week. The moon readings tend to do a lot better. I do those once every 2 weeks when there's like a major transit, either the full moon or the new moon. And the astrological readings, get a few thousand or sometimes several thousand views a piece, with only a couple, not performing very well. Like 1 or 2 signs, maybe it'll be in the hundreds or something. But for the most part, it's usually like at least 1,000. and sometimes a lot more, 10, 15,000. This past moon reading, the full moon in Taurus, is like 20,000. So those kind of videos, of course, I can afford to continue putting out and feel more confident that my channel won't be one of the ones that's deleted. But I don't know. So I may do a poll or something like that. I just wanted to give guys, notice as to what's going on. All right. So on that note, let's get to the reading. We're starting this week with the dice with Weekend Away. We started with this in the general reading also. Eat cake. Congratulations to anybody who's celebrating. I know I had sensed or read the birth of babies or pregnancy announcements, engagement announcements last week, and then I actually saw it come to fruition among my clients and our friends on social media and stuff. So congratulations, happy birthday to the Sagittarians that are celebrating this week. My own daughter's birthday was just yesterday. And also forget it. So something that maybe we were holding on to, harboring, let it go. And Spirit says email, same as in the general reading. As well as romantic dinner. This too came up in the general reading. And spend money. I think they're all the same. This week, the cards that I'm working with is from the Romance Angels. We're beginning with flirt, or have an overall energy of flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. This is using the energy, I like to say, of like a mutable sign. We're lighthearted. We're like forever young, even, no matter how old we grow in age and years. Just fun-loving and youthful. And that's the kind of energy we want to use in approaching others in relationships, and especially like when we're trying to come together to reunite or to heal a relationship or spark something. Lighthearted energy. Don't bring your heavy bags. Like that song by Erykah Badu, Bag Lady. It's like, bag lady, you're gonna hurt your back, dragging all those bags like that. It's her baggage from life. Her emotional baggage is really what the song is about, or at least my interpretation. You can't hurry up because you got too much stuff. You don't want to come with too much stuff. So, yeah. Flirt. Also, behind that, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. And then some patience is going to be required for a lot of these things. A lot of these relationships, whether they're new, we're just meeting, or we're in a committed relationship and one of us is ready to, step it up and go to the next step and the other one isn't. Or, one is ready to reunite, reconcile, the other one isn't. One is ready to try to be together, the other one isn't. All of these things, if you're really interested in preserving these relationships or pursuing these relationships, you're going to have to sideline it and be patient and wait. That also came up in the general reading with regard to, any and every kind of relationship, romantic and otherwise. So certainly here. Also, a lot of these cards, particularly the overall energy that we're all starting with, the Page of Cups in reverse, as it relates to relationship, well, in a general sense, let's start with that, can be about, dreaming and fantasizing and, like having your head in the clouds. And it's a reminder that it's important to remain grounded too, like in reality, and knowing the difference between like wishful thinking and what we hope would be the truth and what is actually the truth, right? Reality and fantasy. And it's easy to get swept up in fantasy, particularly now that Neptune has gone direct in Pisces, which it rules, in which it was retrograde for several months. It went direct last week. And so we're back to, this dream world. But it's important in love, this card states, to sort of be able to differentiate and discern what is real and what is fake. So behind that, also upright, I didn't know, but we know now, is the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is about having like needless worry, typically. Also, there's a need for rest and taking a break, and that sort of message came up in the general reading too, that it maybe need to like take a step back from things, from people, take a break, get your thoughts together. Swords, the element of swords or air, it's all about like mental energy, it's words, it's logic, it's thought, It's ideas. And so when the Nine of Swords is coming up, it's like ideas and thoughts of tension and worry, anxiety, maybe about a relationship. Because as I started to say, when it comes to love and romance specifically, the Page of Cups warns us that, for one thing, we got to, again, differentiate between reality and falsehood, and and what we would hope would be going on, what we want in our hearts to happen or in our dreams to happen. We got to keep it real with ourselves first and foremost, just like the overall energy means in general. We got to relate that to love too. And then specifically as it relates to love, we may have our hearts just too set on one person, in particular, that like one person who is literally unavailable. Maybe they're married. I talked about that last week. I said somebody's married, so you're not going to see them for the holiday. And that's why you're feeling sort of Five of Cups-ish, right? Disappointment and stuff. Even some that had gotten divorced, I was saying that I was feeling, it's like it's their first holiday by themselves maybe. So even they are feeling some kind of way and, not necessarily ready, emotionally available to spend the holiday with you. And so, people are hurt about that and stuff like that. So it's that sort of thing. This person is not available, whether that means they are still married, or they're, in jail. Maybe they can't get to you. They're at some distance for some other reason. They're on the other side of the world or the country. And, so you're separated and the long distance is too much or whatever. They are unavailable. Whatever that means, emotionally unavailable, physically unavailable, both. For a lot of people, it's finances. They have determined that they are unavailable, right? They have deemed themselves unavailable because they feel like they can't afford it, or they're just not ready. Like some people know that they have healing to do. Some people feel that they're not at the right level. Like we gotta meet people at their level. And if I want this man or I want this woman, I got to step it up. I'm not there yet. Yeah, they may love me enough for me to come now, but I'm not comfortable coming now. I'm not available, period. And so when the Page of Cups shows up, and it's here as our overall energy and atop the Nine of Swords, no less, it's reminding us, or it's letting us know that we may have our hearts too set on somebody specifically. And we got to pay attention to what they're saying, right? We got to actually hear them, listen to them, what they're saying, what they're showing us, right? We got what signals are we receiving? What signs are we receiving? And, whether or not those signs or those messages or what they're saying to us or whatever is encouraging us to continue to pursue them, or to stop, or to be patient, right? Maybe just fall back a bit. There's options, but you got to keep it real with yourself. Again, sometimes it's a good idea to even set some sort of timeline for yourself or deadline for yourself as to how long you are, wanting to or willing to remain focused on only one possible out, right? One possible option, one possible relationship. And when do I consider maybe dating other people, or, ceasing to put my life on hold? Maybe I've been making decisions around this person, but there's some decisions that I need to make. I can't afford to wait for them to come back anymore. What's my timeline on that? You got to make up your mind. If somebody else is simultaneously moving toward you, while you're moving toward them, and you may or may not know this, right? A lot of times that's something that is intuitive, or maybe you have a gift that shows you, or in one way or another, or you can feel in one way or another that, the person that you're attracted to is also attracted to you. You're moving toward them, they're moving toward you. I mean, we do have people that we mirror. And we tend to mirror energies, right? Everybody does. That's part of, the laws of the way the world works, right? The laws of karma and cause and effect and attraction, all of these things. So if they're moving toward you, then they're moving toward you. And again, it's going to require some patience worth waiting for. That's how I got on this tangent, for them to catch up sometimes. And, You know, everybody moves at their own pace. I talked about that, I believe, too, quite a bit last week in both the general reading and the love reading, that we're not all in the same timeline. You know, we're not all at the same level of dimensional reality. You know what I mean? Some of us are, you know, vibrate at a higher frequency than others. And, you know, you can wait for your person to catch up, or, you know, you can keep your life moving, because it's not really a good idea to put your life on hold. You know, we also got to keep in mind that we all have, you know, more than one soulmate, you know, more than one opportunity for happiness, more than one chance for happiness. And even in the case of divine unions or twin flames, you know, there are replacements, so to speak, because we all have free will at the end of the day. And so if somebody makes a decision, a permanent one, that they're never going to come around, well, somebody else who at the soul level made a commitment and is willing to keep their commitment, doesn't just get, you know, left by the wayside. The universe doesn't just drop you. Then somebody else comes in, somebody else is sent in, right? We call those I was gonna say placeholders. Placeholders. I don't know where that was coming from. We do not call them placeholders. I guess we could, but that's not that's not the term. Oh goodness, what the hell? Walk-ins. We call them walk-ins. I think I was thinking about key holders, which is also weird because I myself am a key holder, but I haven't talked about key holders in years, probably. So that's interesting. And, I don't want to get stuck there though. Yeah, we call them walk-ins, right? Somebody else literally like walks into your life. And you know, and it works with that person. The same way the universe sent you one person, the universe can send you another person. Also, sometimes, again, right now is not the time. In the 3D, we may be insistent that look, the clock is ticking, but time is relative. In fact, you know, it doesn't even exist. So is the clock really ticking? you know, you can take a movie or something, for example, like these movies like The Notebook and stuff. You know, sometimes it's years before you end up together. So just because we're not together now doesn't mean we won't ever be. But in the meantime, you got to live and I got to live, right? So anyway, enough about that one card, the Page of Cups. But I got on that tangent again because of worth waiting for. Also here, this is relative too. Let go of control issues. Like I was saying, we're not in control, right? The universe is in control, God is in control, and time is relative. So we may want something right now, today, yesterday even. But if that's not when it's meant to happen, then it won't. And so we've got to let go of that energy of trying to control the situation, because all we're doing is blocking our blessings. Next card, the Keepers of the Light Oracle. Begin with Joan of Arc. Voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. So this can be about being with people that others don't think is a good idea. The society maybe doesn't think is a good idea. Oh, you're two different religions. You shouldn't be together. You're two different races. You shouldn't be together. You're two different cultures. You shouldn't be together. You're two different age brackets. You shouldn't be together. Whatever it is. And, you know, living your truth. That's what this Joan of Arc card is about for the most part. I'm also getting a very Ace of Swords feel to it. So some truth could be coming out also this week. And you know, there was a lot of cards and energy of victory in the general reading. And Joan of Arc, you know, she's a saint. And she was only 17 when she was made to lead the French army. She did so disguised as a man. And that's actually for what she was persecuted. She wasn't persecuted for leading the army or, you know, any kind of war crimes or whatever. It was because she dressed as a man. So the first time she did it, she was charged, found guilty of it. Heresy, I think, was the exact charge. She was found guilty of it, convicted, but they sort of let her go. And then she had to promise, okay, I'll never dress like a man again. And she did again. So this is about living in your truth, right? She just disguised herself as a man again, had continued success being a leader in France, and at 19 was again convicted and that time put to death. Decades later, they decide, oops, we were wrong to have done that to her. And they sort of like reversed her conviction, overturned her conviction, and canonized her as a saint. So this is also a card of, yeah, very strong energy of living in your truth, telling the truth coming out, and of victory. All energies that were very prominent in the general reading too. Also upright behind her is Bridget. That gives me not only the energy of the fire signs and this very passionate energy of, you know, pursuit of our heart's desires rather than, again, what society may deem is appropriate, but maybe specifically Leo. And I was feeling this in the general reading. I even said we may see some sort of Leo cards, maybe major arcana card strength or something come out. We did not see it in the general reading, but here it is now, or here one is now. Bridget, inner strength. Move back to wholeness. Recognize that you have the power. And you know what? We kind of did see a card of being in one's power and having the power and taking power back. And I even said it's about taking power back. And that was Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor, which does represent fellow fire sign Aries. So, you know, I lied. It did come up in the general reading too. From my angel therapy cards, I'm using all the same decks that I used in the general reading too, by the way. Shield yourself. Protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. This too I talked about in the general reading, specifically for the masculine, based on his cards, 2 5 of Swords for one thing, that he had on his side. And I said, this is like other people putting in your ear, trying to impose their fear upon you, impress their fear upon you, and sort of turn your mind, make you afraid to move forward, because misery loves company. So be careful of that sort of thing. And lastly, the Animal Tarot, 6 of Autumn is the overall energy. The card we're beginning with. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship. In return for heaven's blessings, be sure to share the wealth with others through donations of time or money to reputable charities. So this is very, very important. When we receive blessings, to share them with other people, be they financial or, you know, extra time. You know, like I just got a week off. Unexpectedly, the boss said, here, paid time off. I'm going to donate one day to, you know, feeding the homeless or whatever it is. That's just an example. I'm not saying that's what people got to run out to do, but it's an example of you being blessed and you turning around and sharing that blessing with other people. It can be your time. It can be your energy in some other way. It can be actual money. I have a client this week that was blessed a few times. It was so funny. She emailed me this morning, like 3 different ways she had been financially blessed. And we've been talking about this, not only in my weekly readings for you guys to see, but in my daily readings too, right? She's one of my Patreons. And so of course we were talking about how wonderful that is. She sends me a donation, as you know, to forward, share the blessing, pay that forward too, which is amazing. And you know, we talk some more about how that's the way the cycle goes. This is what God wants us to do. This is what the universe wants us to do, right? She went out after that to pay off her or make a payment on a layaway that she had, like for Christmas gifts for her family, and somebody had already made the payment. You know, somebody else had paid it forward. So this is how abundance works. Okay, this is how abundance works. This is how the law of attraction works. We each got the law of karma too. This is how, and cause and effect. They all come into play together. You put it out there. You put the positive energy out there. You share with others. You receive an abundance of it. You give some away. And this is, you know, we each keep doing that. And the cycle goes around and around. Or we can fuck it up, right? We can muck up the works, and we can be selfish, and we can hoard, and we can not share our energy, and we cannot show each other unconditional love, and then we cannot be blessed. It's like sort of, that's a free will choice too. This is guiding us to share. And when it comes to relationships and love, specifically for me, the energy of the 6 of Autumn is giving each other true unconditional love. And unconditional love is exactly what it sounds like. Love without condition. That means even the condition of you loving me back, of the love being reciprocal, of you, you know, saying you want to be with me and you want to be with me today on my schedule. None of that is required for love to be given if it's truly unconditional love. Also upright behind that is the Eight of Summer, Eight of Cups. You feel that there's more to life than what you're living. So it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. And maybe we're moving on from something that is not moving toward us, right? We're moving away from something that has moved away from us. Or maybe we're going to move toward something that is moving toward us, right? Those are the choices or the possibilities as it relates to love. We're going to walk away and find something, do something else, right? Heal ourselves, work on ourselves, find some sort of higher inspiration and purpose, and catch up with you later, or vice versa. You can catch up with me later when your vibration increases, when you meet me here. All right, so fire, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Fire, earth, air, water. So this first card, Eight of Pentacles, representing Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So the Eight of Pentacles upright as it relates to love might suggest that your responsibilities or job or jobs, you earth signs, you might have more than one job. Your responsibilities, your jobs, your workload at your one job, whatever it is, or your partners, that of your partner, if you're coupled, could be getting in the way of your relationship, and this week we had another planet enter Capricorn. I talked about in the general reading too. Oh, it's Jupiter. It's the ruler of the sign of Sagittarius. So again, this is representing fire. Sagittarius, your ruler Jupiter, which is also connected to fellow fire sign Leo, moved into Capricorn, the workhorse of the zodiac, this week. And so yeah, that could be very, very true for you, that some sort of job or responsibilities or the workload that you have at your job, maybe the number of hours that you're working or the number of days that you work, or the time of day that you work, maybe it makes it impossible for you to be social and stuff, is getting in the way. And so if you want to maintain the relationship, you got to make an effort, because the Eight of Pentacles in a general sense is about reaping what you've sown, right? So it's putting in the work to get out a particular result. You're going to have to make an effort to fit the relationship in somewhere, somehow. And that could be what's meant by unavailable, right? You're trying to have a relationship where you're overly focused on somebody that's unavailable. Maybe they work too much. That's why they're unavailable, because they can't go, they don't have time to go out with you or to spend time with you, quality time and all those things. And so, that's why one of you or both of you is having sleepless nights and just feeling really anxious about how things are going to work out. What are you going to do about the relationship? Well, you're going to have to sit down in a mature way, lighthearted, friendly, amicable, and figure out how to spend more time together, or how to, out of love, walk away, at least for now, until, you're able to give the relationship the time and energy that it genuinely deserves. If you're single and looking for love, then when this card shows up, it could mean that, you yourself as an individual are too focused on your job or money or your responsibilities, or maybe the way that you live, your whole lifestyle and, just everything about you is about being single, or just screams single or bachelor or bachelorette or something. And you gotta take a moment to think about, have I made space, in my life, in my home, in my car, wherever necessary, to allow someone else in to share this with me. You're definitely going to have to, if you want love, you're going to have to make room for it, is what this is saying to the singles. If you're, fine and happy being single and just enjoying your life, and your time by giving it all to your work, you may still want to consider falling back a little and making a little time to be social in general, even if it's not to focus on any one relationship or to meet anybody in particular, because you're still lacking balance. All right. From that note, we'll move over to the earth signs. That was fire. Earth signs: Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Taurus, actually another one of the fixed signs connected to Jupiter. All of the fixed signs are so Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, all tied to Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius. So that was this one. Any one of you might be affected by this. And now we've moved on to again the Earth energies. Temperance in reverse is your card. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So when Temperance is in reverse, it's important to consider balance. Like I was just saying, telling the single people, even if you don't want love, you still got to make time in your life for everything, and for, make sure you have room for being social and stuff, because balance is still important. And that's what Temperance in reverse means. It means that you got to look at balance, and you got to look at, if you're already in a relationship, committed relationship, you got to look there for balance. Is one of us, carrying the burden, for, so to speak, carrying all the wands for the relationship, for others, carrying the load, the lion's share, as they say. You're giving 90%, I'm giving 10. That does not work, or it's not going to work, or it could appear to work for as long as the person who's carrying the bigger part will allow it to appear. But one day they're going to, crash and burn. So what are we going to do if we want to prevent that? We got to each be willing to give that 50-50, and we got to be willing to sit down and talk about the need for that, right? To be honest about that truth, and to be strong and confident enough in ourselves and our relationship and in one another to face those harsh truths, and so that we can each put something toward working on them, or separating if we're unwilling to, right, or unable to. Major Arcana card Temperance actually represents also the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot, although for me, it also represents fellow fixed sign to the others that I just listed, Aquarius. All right, this is a water bearer by, for all intents and purposes, as far as I'm concerned, this is a water bearer. This is an angel standing in a pool of water, pouring water back and forth between two vessels. So this card also represents the energy of Aquarius for me. So we have these two placements already where Aquarius is showing up. And Aquarius may be particularly significant to a fire sign and or an earth sign. Similarly, if you're single and looking for love, you may still be doing too much, right? You trying too hard and alienating people or intimidating people, making them feel, uncomfortable even. And so you're going to want to watch your energy in that regard too. And not force or impose or rush. You may be ready to start a relationship today, like yesterday or whatever, but the other person may need to ease into a relationship. So again, patience is going to be required. Otherwise we're going to chase people away. It's about being secure and confident, and truthful and honest with ourselves and with other people. So again, the Joan of Arc and the Bridget come into play. In that regard, and as well as the Six of Pentacles and the need to exchange unconditional love. So I understand that you are on your own timeline, and I respect that and I appreciate it. So just because I am feeling a certain type of way and I'm ready, I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to rush you. If I'm that interested and willing, I'll wait. Air signs. 5 of Wands in reverse is our card. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius again. So that's 3 now. 3 for 3 with the energy of Aquarius. For us, the 5 of Wands is all about conflict, right? Or competition, an aggressive energy for me. Whereas here in reverse, as it relates to love, what appears to be conflict or maybe an aggressive energy, something that could rub you the wrong way, is especially if you're already in a relationship, you'll find that that's just the superficial appearance, right? So again, it goes back to the difference, needing to know the difference between, fantasy and reality. That's the fantasy. That's the appearance, the illusion. But in reality, this is beneficial to our relationship, right? It's usually something that's bringing something up that we need to look at. As long as we, can agree to fight fair, right? Treat each other fairly. Exchange energy amicably and out of love. We're going to find that it's something that can help our relationship. It's bringing stuff to the surface for us to address it. We've been sweeping things under the rug, and now we got to air these things out, clear the air, so to speak, learn more about each other, about ourselves as individuals, and about one another. And all of that comes out of, again, what appears to be conflict and helps us to move forward. If we're single and looking for love, and again, you have your heart set on somebody, one person, you got this, tunnel vision, as they say, this focus that doesn't seem to be ready to move forward with you in the way that you are with them, then it's important to know, how they say, it's not me, it's you. It really is them. It really is them. It's important for you to keep in mind that their hesitance, their reluctance has a lot more to do with them and their issues and through what they're going than it has to do with you at all. Do not make it about yourself. That's going to be important too. And that's going to be important for you and for them. Because when people are going through something and dealing with something, the last thing that they want to put up with, or at least I can tell you from my own perspective, the last person I want to hear from is somebody who's going to make my problem about them, right? I'm going through something, like, how dare you turn it around and make yourself the spotlight. And Leos are good for that. Leos are good for that. I have to say that as loving, I say it as lovingly as possible, out of 100% honesty. I say it as a Leo rising myself, and the daughter of a Leo, the niece of a Leo, the mother of a Leo Virgo. It is what it is. This is the truth. Leos are like that. They will find a way to make a situation somehow about them. You're in the hospital, but somehow it's them that is, on the verge of a breakdown because they're worried about you. But you're the one that took up the tubes, but it's not all about you. It's about them. Like, oh my God, I can't see you like this. They turn it around. That's just an example that has nothing to do with love, but it's just to give you an idea of how crazy, people can be in general. But I just, wanted to connect it because we did have that Leo energy showing up there. And again, we have it here connected to Jupiter and the fire sign sitting right here above this energy, this air energy. And maybe it is in part about fire and air signs that are dealing with each other, or one or both having both fire and air very strongly in their charts, like I myself do. I've got the Gemini, Aquarius, and Leo all in my chart, right? Gemini Sun, Aquarius Moon, Leo rising. So it can be something like that going on too. I'm not the only one, of course. Water signs, that brings us to you. And you guys have had the best love card over the past, I think this is like my third time doing the love reading this way. And so far, each time you guys have had like the best card in this placement for you guys of love. The Two of Swords, as it relates to couples that are already together, or relationships, people that are already interested in each other, romantic ties that are all, and couplings that are already in existence. You're probably going to, or twos already on their own, or about partnership and stuff, right? And so you guys are probably going to like step up your commitment, or deeper into love. You'll find that things are lighter, right? More lighthearted. The energy not so heavy, not so forced. A lot just easier and flowy and balanced, right? It's sitting here under the Temperance, which is all about balance. Crossing the Eight of Pentacles, which can be about balance. So that's what your card is about. All of those things. Like, you got it together. What all the rest of us want, you guys got it with the Two of Swords. However, It's not so true for those of you who are single. If you're looking for love, similar to basically all three of the other elements, what I've had to say about those, it's going to be important for you to take a good hard look at yourself too, and be honest about your own, emotional issues, concerns, if any, healing that needs to be done in any particular area, if any, before you start trying to, deal with somebody else and, date somebody and question somebody else about, why they're not ready to move forward and all that kind of stuff. Like, you're not ready to move forward either. And other people, can sense that. Like they say, people can smell desperation. I can smell the fear on you, that saying, and stuff. People can smell that and sense that kind of stuff a mile away. And it's a total turn off. So, yeah, we gotta do our own healing first. And it's also important to remember that as part of this balance issue, like, you're 100% on your own. You don't need a partner to complete you. A partner is like a bonus, right? They give you an extra percentage, but you're already whole. You're already 100% all by yourself, and you are enough all by yourself. So you don't have to look outside of yourself for happiness. It's fine and encouraged to supplement all that is wonderfully you. But if not, again, you are enough. A relationship that you truly deserve, want, need, all of the above will come to you if you work on yourself first, is what this card means. And then I'll go on to another spread on that note. Or should I not? That's later than I thought. I do want to do another spread, though. I want to at least do the perspective of the masculine. I must have talked about those cards longer than I realized, because I just looked up at the time on the video, and we're at like 40 minutes already. So I do want to do this spread, though. So we'll go here, Divine Feminine. The masculine as it relates to the feminine. To himself this week in terms of love. And the union or connection as a whole. What the masculine would have the feminine, like what energy the masculine would have the feminine give toward the union this week. What he himself is willing to. Overall, and what the universe would have each or both, the energy, the universe would have each or both give to the union this week, and that it even wants to help us with, but we have to first affirm and allow it to, ask it to, because we have free will and the outcome. So this is not even a romance deck. This is my angel therapy cards, but I guess in terms of healing, we can see what comes up from the masculine perspective. Divine Feminine. Sacral chakra. So this is a focus for us. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. So this is that walking away from things that are not meant for you right now. Doesn't mean never, so in terms of a relationship, even if you walk away from it, doesn't mean you're never going to be together. Right now, this moment, it might be appropriate for you to at least take a break, take a step back, and work on some healing, self-healing of your own, maybe specifically focus on the sacral chakra. The masculine as it relates to the feminine, and maybe specifically to the sacral chakra too, clear yourself. So him too, needing to cleanse his energy, and maybe specifically sacral chakra being blocked and needing to clear that, right? To cleanse that. Maybe because he's had other relationships, maybe other sexual relationships. The sacral chakra is like below, like the lower abdomen and the genitals. So maybe that's why he needs to cleanse himself before he comes back to you. Maybe that's why he's unavailable. Like, I'm not ready yet. I have to detox before I consider being with somebody in a serious way, somebody that I respect, somebody that I love in a serious way. Because I've just been out here, not being so serious and in love. You know what I mean? So that's another possibility. A need to cleanse. The masculine as it relates to himself. Earth angel. So it could be new self-awareness. And that may be what is sort of promoting this need to detox or to cleanse himself. Like a new understanding of who he is and what his purpose here is on this planet, at least to an extent. And so maybe that's why he needs to be unavailable too, right? I've just had a revelation. I can't get into a relationship yet. I need to, do some soul searching. I got to finish finding myself, that sort of thing. That may be what's happening with him. You are a light worker who has come to earth to teach about love. Masculine's feelings this week on union, the connection as a whole, or the union as a whole. And that is base chakra. This is the root chakra, right? It's also known as the root chakra. And maybe what his feelings are is getting to the root of the issue. Choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances. I'm sure relationships apply as well. As your words determine your outcome. This is about speaking into existence. So speaking again, these sort of foundations and roots that he wants to build. Speaking that into existence and building upon that. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union this week, or the release. So again, it's like potentially walking away or letting go, or allowing for organic flow, right? Allowing for transformation and transition into the next. Doesn't necessarily mean walking away, leaving him or her or whatever. It just means allowing things to happen in their own time, in their own space, as meant, in accordance with destiny. Work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose, because you could be blocking your own blessings. Masculine himself, what energy he's willing to give to the union this week. It is vacuum away fear. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael. So it's interesting that both the masculine and feminine archetype guided toward Archangel Michael this week specifically. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, from your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. So that's unconditional love too. Overall, mediumship. You have the natural ability to connect with departed loved ones, and some of them may be guiding us, and so they may be letting us know what we're meant to do in this time, and helping us through like this maybe dark night of the soul perhaps, or some sort of revelation, new understanding about what it means to be an earth angel or a light worker, or just having gone through a spiritual awakening. I was getting something else about the mediumship, and I lost it. What the universe would have each or both do, what energy each or both should give to the union, and what the universe even wants to help us with this week, but we have to sort of allow it to, right? Fairies. The strong bond with fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. That is true, but I think what the universe wants to help us with is getting grounded. I think that's what's bringing up Mother Nature for. It's like earth energies that is bringing up. Also, I'm getting, the Venus in Capricorn, so it's like mother and nature, mother and earth. And I talked about what it meant for Venus to have entered Capricorn last week. And then again this week, from a masculine perspective, Jupiter also entered Capricorn. So you may want to watch in the general reading to find out what that means and how it will affect us. I think that's what the universe wants to help us with. But we, again, have to be open to that and affirm it, because we have free will. We don't have to allow the universe to help us with that. We don't have to accept our transition or the guidance, the intuition that it's giving us, what what we're being moved toward, we can reject it all if we so choose. And the outcome, if we don't choose to reject it, if we do choose to follow, what happens? Archangel Raphael. So again, in this whole bottom row here is all about Archangels Michael and Raphael coming to our aid if we allow that. Again, for the masculine, work with Archangel Michael. I'm sorry, for the feminine. Work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. For the masculine, call on Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, from your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. And for both, the healing angel, Raphael, is with you, supporting your healing work. So all we have to do is ask for it, accept it, and we're getting that support this week. And then further advice, let's see. Our overall energy was the Page of Cups in reverse. So like this. Further advice to the masculine. The Queen of Cups in reverse. Now, the Queen of Cups is a good omen as it relates to love, whether upright or reverse. She reminds us to stay in touch, so to speak, with the truly loving aspects of our own personalities. And that, really true, deep love for others also comes with understanding that each person has their own timeline. So it totally supports the other messages that we've gotten and reminds us not to be impatient or forceful or to come through with chasing energy. Good things come to those who wait, and chasing energy does just that. It chases people away. For the feminine, oh, very nice. The Six of Swords, upright. So this is the card of moving on, moving forward, moving in together. Could be traveling to visit one another. And things just working out generally well. Like whatever happens, it was meant to happen. It's for the good. Things work out well. And we can be at peace when the Six of Swords turns up right. Queen of Cups, of course, a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Pisces, a lot of energy from Pisces coming up this week. Definitely a lot of us could have some sort of involvement with a Pisces, or somehow they fit in a very significant way, or maybe a younger person, and maybe specifically a younger water sign that we're dealing with one way or another. It's more Sagittarius energy too, which makes sense, isn't surprising. With the moon was just there, the new moon, the sun is there, so it makes sense. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun. So this is again about things working out really well, masculine. For the feminine, the Ten of Winter. It's the end of a career path, project, or relationship, and that brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. Honestly, I think the feminine got this same card in the general. Also, to me, these two cards sort of reaffirm one another. They're both saying that we're moving on and that it's for the best, that good things are coming. So we have two cards that say the difficult or challenging times are coming to an end. I think that you can really trust that they're coming to an end this week, feminine, in love for us. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to the masculine soul flame, rediscover a lost part of yourself. Didn't I just say he was rediscovering himself, finding himself here with the Earth Angel? Told you. Experience relationship harmony and healing. For the feminine, Freya, phases and cycles. So again, it's important for the feminine to allow for transformation, or for everybody, but some of us may be trying to force things. We definitely got to be careful about that. Allow for transformation, allow for organic transition. There is a beginning within every ending. So something, again, may be ending. It may even be a relationship, or a relationship as we know it, or our dream, that fantasy that we had in our head. I'm going to be with him, or I'm going to be with her, and it's going to be this way, and it's going to be now, and it's going to be my way. We might have to be letting go of all of that. But there's a new beginning there still within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. So we're recognizing what was just a fantasy and letting it go. This week, water signs may be particularly significant. Again, that Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Masculine from the romance angels. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. That goes nicely with soul flame and the sun. Like room, and the Queen of Cups too. Really a lot of room for something pretty awesome to be happening in the masculine's love life this week. From the romance angels to the feminine, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. May have been hurt before, may have even been betrayed before in one way or another, lied to, cheated on or something, but it's okay to put that energy out again with somebody else and to try. Masculine, more energy of truth coming up for you. Integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values. That means say what you mean and mean what you say. You know, just keep it real. Let everything that you do and say match your inner knowingness of what's right for you. And for the feminine, throat chakra. Speaking of saying what you mean and meaning what you say, or speaking up for yourself, the angels will help you to lovingly speak your truth this week, feminine. And that's all we have. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the love reading. I thank you for joining me for it, for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, again, for asking me to do your own personal reading, your energy healing, and any of the other stuff and ways that you support me, talking to me on social media and all that. Totally appreciate it. I may put up a poll again to see what you guys think about this, perhaps being my last love reading on YouTube. We'll see. Yeah, hit me up if you need anything in the meantime. I'll be back real soon. Namaste.